further wiring update for this evening. It's a beautiful evening, springtime, just after Easter. Got the flasher harness piece in hand finally, the extra part that I needed to buy from American Auto Wire. So I'm going to walk through what I'm seeing, and then we'll take a look at the finished job if I can finish it. So here's the instruction sheet, and it's the colors that they reference there. This piece of it is the original factory optional add-on harness, and they've got the colors just dead right. Here's the factory harness coming off of there, and their instructions are to cut this off and go from there. So this is where it made it up to turn signals back in the old day, and this was the fusible power. This had an inline fuse housing on it. So the instructions are to cut off and start wiring from there with these clips, and then those clips go into a block like this, which goes into the rest of the flasher harness here. It then goes up and into their connectors for their turn signals here. So hoping to get through that and get that going. We still have to get, this is the steering wheel harness piece, so I still have to get this probably from, well, the way the instructions look, cut and run into and spaded into one side of this guy, probably this side. So yeah, looks like this is the dash connection. So we'll see what we can figure out. Okay, something quick that I've already noted that I want to make sure everybody knows, and they notice if they're using this guide or what I'm doing at all to do any work later. So the picture is really good at showing you from the front, looking into the front, where the wires go on the block when you're looking from the front. But it doesn't talk about the orientation of the clip as it goes into the clip, as it goes into the block. Does it go in this way, or does it go in this way? If you look inside of the cells, and this camera probably won't pick it up, but there's a little rib across the top of each of these rows. There's a little rib across the top on the inside that is designed to catch this little spring hooky thing. Focus. To catch that little spring hook there on the back of it and hold it into this clip block. So that goes, those spring clips go to the opposite side. They go to the top, the opposite side of this little bump here. And when they go in right, you'll hear a little click when they click home. Okay, like I just did there. Let me see if I can find a way to make it work for this yellow-orange one. Just thread it in until you hear the click. Bless it for love of a tripod. That was the click there. Again, the instructions are pretty right on about what they're showing you here with this power jumper that comes over here to this accessory plug, but they don't show you the orientation of how the prong is supposed to go into the set here. So on this plug, the spring, the keeper tongue on this one, that little metal hook spring goes towards the bottom, the row of 4, as they have the picture pointed there. So let me grab one of them to show you. So again, this is the little clip, and it's got that little spring hook there at the bottom, and it goes in there with the spring down. So it's oriented just like this, where the spring, if you can see on the picture there, the spring is pointing down inside of this block here. Okay, so if you're doing that, everything else that I've seen so far looks really good. The connection up to the dash connector Easy. It just clicks right on, lines right up, perfect, no worries. We'll see about the column connection, and I'll see what these guys are, C and D. I gotta look at that one. Gotta look at that one again, but this so far is right on. Okay, looking at the turn signal lineups, and similar thing there with the instructions. Looks to be pretty straightforward. We'll see when I get some paint scraped off a little bit or rubbed off of the ends of the stock wires that got over the harness, or the dash wires, or the steering column wires that got a little bit paint on them. And the instruction set just perfectly matches what we're dealing with here. Looking inside of that kit, it looks like I've got catching ribs designed to catch the little spring clip on this guy on either side. I will check and let you all know, but that seems to be the case on this side as opposed to that other connector there that they only had them on one side. Okay, so to wrap up what we've found for the evening, we got most of the turn signal stuff in. 5 of the 7 wires are in and wired in. We've got 2 wires here that the colors don't match what shows in the instructions for wiring up the turn signal, so I got to figure out where these are coming from. They do run up here to the top of my steering column, this little piece here, behind my my turn signal switch, so I've got to inspect that, and might need to put some power to the system and see when I hit the turn signal if one of these goes hot one way or the other. So we'll see about that. Just was investigating the instructions and found what I need to do with the neutral safety switch here to get it all wired up. So that we'll get started on next time to get that piece done, as well as investigating this. But I also wanted to show you all what we did here for a transmission oil cooler, and we just got this mounted. So this whole assembly, including the A-frame piece, is off of a mid-90s Dodge truck. It might have been bolted the other way around on the truck, I'm not certain, but this whole frame comes on it, and you just take the metric bolts off of it, and it goes back on. So what my father-in-law did to fabricate this is he kind of turned these feet, and they just drop right in this channel here on the front of the radiator support frame, just really nicely. And took off some of the extra hard line that was here. He put a flare in the end of it, and then I'm going to plumb up the hoses here on the other side, the flexible rubber hose, and we should be good to go with this. But it just fits on there real nice right in front of where the radiator's going to go. Looks really sharp. This little tab here is just aluminum, and so we bent it down, ran it between this little front balance support bar and that frame, and ran self-tapping screws. Now what we found is there's another kind of top balance here that bolts on here and here and here. We may need to take this screw out, bolt this guy up, and then bring him up and drill a hole and run this screw back in here. We'll do that when that time comes. There's even a little slot in it where the hood latch comes down that makes that look like that's going to be possible. So if you're doing one of these jobs, feel free to steal that idea from us. It works real well.